Hi guys, this is Johnny Bergen with another Chicago Blues guitar lesson. Usually I pick an artist and talk about him at length, or really try to talk about what's important about his style, like I did Willie Johnson and Mighty Joe Young, all kinds of folks over the last, actually it's been a year I've been doing these lessons. I've started to realize that I think for a lot of students, we might be trying to run before we can walk. So I've got a few things to talk about here that are serious basics. The first being like the three most important words, lump-de-lump. Bruce Iglauer actually told me that years and years ago. I was standing on the side of the stage waiting to play with Mary Lane, and he says, just don't forget the three most important words that a young blues guitar player should know. Lump-de-lump. I was like, what? What is it? Lump-de-lump. So anyway, he could have been more right. So let's talk about lumps, because I've been teaching, some beginner and intermediate students, and it's something you think people already know, but they don't. So I'm going to talk about a lump, and let's just say we're in B flat, okay? So I'm going to show you how I do it. I like to make my second finger perpendicular to the neck, like that. And then I stretch backward with my first finger and out with my pinky. Some people can use their third finger instead, and then and you don't need to keep your second or third, however you do it. I think it's easier with your second, but people do it with their third all the time. You don't need to keep these nailed down while you're working forward with your pinky. So here's what I'm talking about. How do you like my classy amplifier here? It's pretty raunchy sounding, but whatever. It's just the way it had to go today. So if your second finger is perpendicular and comfortable, then you can go backwards and you can go forwards. You can go this way on the neck and that way on the neck. And yes, when you're out here, and either this or this, you can just lift up your second finger or third finger as you choose and relax it. It doesn't need to be clamped down there the whole time. So here you go with the pick now. You can also go up and down. So that brings me to something real important, which is there's only two ways to make your guitar playing not sound horrible. And one is to mute it with your left hand, and the other is to mute it with your right hand. Because if there's absolutely no muting at all, and you're not trying to control your sound with either of those ways or both, it starts to get... Or if you're playing a chord, after a while it's like, stop, stop, stop. You make a big noise with your pick or with your fingers, and then you control it with here or with just muting here. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna do this lump. I'm gonna have no muting on my right hand, and I'm gonna control everything with just squeezing a ball. So notice my palm of my right hand is not touching the strings. I'm just squeezing the ball. So another thing you got to do is, if you're going to use your fingers, you got to learn how to go up with your thumb. I'm squeezing the ball. Just putting my fingers down. It's like if you had a tennis ball and you're doing this. So I'm pushing it down on the strings and then off. We were talking about Feel So Good, I Want a Boogie the other day, you know. See, I got a big, I'm almost, when he really gets in a zone, he's almost, so he's really pulling off on the left hand too. It's not just the right hand doing it, it's the left hand. And also when you do that, each time you release that tension, or you're giving your muscles a break here, because who knows how long these songs could go on. Once I did a shuffle with Jim Lieben, the great harmonica player from Milwaukee, and it was a 45-minute shuffle. 45 minutes. So it's really not a problem if you're sort of like relaxing the tension here and there. But you still have to keep playing the whole time, because otherwise, like, you know, why be a rhythm guitar player? The whole point of it is you have a constant floor of some kind. So let's talk more about the lumps. I'm getting off the subject, I think. This time I'm going to do some, I was looking at some Chuck Berry videos, and like he pretty much does all downs. You can do a little see how I change it? I just let it ring right out. Back. You know who's really amazing with lumps? Is Bilbo Walker. I promise you we're going to do a full-on Bilbo lesson, but let's do a little bit of the way he would do it. He does all downs with his thumb. And then he gets one little upstroke with his fingers, like, take your hands off her, 'cause she don't belong to you. Take your hands off her, 'cause she don't belong to you. Hear that? Oh, she's mine, oh mine, no matter where she goes. Oh, good. So that's another way to do a lump, is just all downs with your thumb and then a little up, you know? So now let's talk about a really important topic. A student actually told me this, and that's what gave me the idea for this lesson. Something came up about a capo, and he said, oh, isn't that cheating? Really, if you have to do a blues gig, you need 3 things. You need a guitar, an amplifier, and a capo. And definitely get the shub. The Kaiser capos, they don't apply uniform pressure equally. You'll be in tune somewhere, out of tune somewhere else. This applies more even pressure. You'll be happier. And the advantage of a capo is you can exploit the beauty of all the open positions like E, A, D, and B without in any key you want to. Are you going to be able to do that in B flat without a capo? Let's see. That sounded terrible, awful compared to with a capo, didn't it? Because it didn't ring. So do yourself a favor, get a good capo. So you can do the lump is made easier with a capo, but you have less control over your left hand. Or let me put it another way. You have less control over dampening with your left hand if you use a capo. That is basically a drawback. You can sometimes play with the rhythm and do more staccato rhythm against over a grooving beat like. You know, sometimes when I do that, I like to get the open G string. And just like I was talking about in the Pat Hare lesson earlier, you could snap into this. How's that for a turnaround? Just a note. So you can play some great lumps with a capo. And here's something I learned from Billy Flynn a while ago. By a while ago, I mean like 25 years ago or something. But you could do this. There's all kinds of lumps that are not just this. You can go. Like I was saying a while back, so much of learning blues is like kind of unlearning on the guitar. So a lump isn't just this, right? These notes. Yeah, these notes. More of that snap into it. Then you can really make it snap. And then the other thing is, I've been so far doing all downs, and that's like total Chuck Berry. I was watching him on film, and it's down, 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 down. I saw Sonny Rhodes years back, and he had a wonderful guitar player with him. I wish I knew his name. Anyway, this guy did a great lump going up and down. I mean, picking down, alternate picking. So let's just say we're in D, okay? This is another example of just using my left hand to mute, because I'm just letting it full power, okay, with the right hand. See, I'm squeezing the ball. Junka, junka, junka. See how my fingers going up and down? Okay, so. This makes you feel good. Let's try it again. You know what's great about this? You could really play this for 45 minutes. Because it's not that hard to just squeeze it. And this is easy. Duck, a duck, a duck, a duck. Notice how I like to sometimes put the accent on the 2 and 4. Dunka chanka dunka chanka dunka chanka. Or if you want to go all Chuck Berry, you can put the accent on the 1. sort of mix it up where it's sort of okay. So I hope you enjoyed this little chat about lumps, and it's mostly for people who, maybe you're just starting out and you haven't really thought about it. You know how to do this. Maybe you can't play it in F. That'd be the hardest place to play it. So you could start in B flat, for example, and then work your way down. Finally, you can do it in F, right? Or you can just use the capo. I hope you enjoyed this little chat on lumps. Check out my lesson from several months back, please. It's called Cool Rhythm Guitar Over a Chicago Lump. Once you realize that so much guitar is a lump somewhere, it's just not necessarily here, right? I'm back to B flat. It goes into stuff like that. Or, on the Dave Myers kind of thing, and Louis Myers to be like, that's like a lump in a different place. But first you got to get the bottom lump going. So have fun with these, and do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot.